So now we can go ahead and add some noise to these lightnings as well. So inside this attribute VOP, let's drop down on AA flow noise, plug this into our P and generate a 3D noise, and we will simply add this here. And let's promote frequency. I don't think we need offset, so maybe just amplitude, roughness, and also flow. So now let's go up a level and let's increase the amplitude, maybe decrease the frequency and also the roughness, and just increase the amplitude. And I also want this amplitude to be scaled by our curve view ramp that we did, so I don't want this noise to affect this part in the center here and also on the ends of our lightnings. So let's go back inside and let's promote this amplitude, or rather double click the handle, and I will just multiply this value. So let's drop down a multiply and let's see, we want the ramp from the curve view, and let's plug this ramp inside this multiply. Okay, so now our noise is scaled by the ramp, the curve view ramp as well. So let's take a look and let's animate this flow a little bit. Let's maybe do $T and let's preview this, and I think this is fine. So this is the animation that we have so far. Let's maybe just drop this down a bit. Let's maybe drop this, divide this value by 2, so it's twice as slow. Let's maybe use T multiplied by 0.7. Okay, so I think this is good. Let's actually just maybe increase the amplitude just a little bit more. And let's also scale this with this ramp age, so the amplitude. Let's go back inside and also multiply this with our age ramp. Okay, so now this should start a little bit more uniform. Alright, so this is nice. So what I can do from here is multiply this attribute VOP and plug this here in the chain. Let's rename this to, let's maybe go with medium noise. And we can just stack a bunch of noises on top of each other, but for this medium noise, let's go inside and I want to get rid of all of this, the part where we raise up our lightning in the y-axis. So let's get rid of this. So we just add the noise and maybe arrange these nodes a little bit. Okay, so basically here we just have the noise, and we can go up a level and increase, or rather decrease, the amplitude for this noise and maybe increase the frequency a bit. Okay, and let's, before we apply this medium noise, let's do the connectivity trick and create a duplicate of this noise. Let's drop down here a copy and transform node after the initial noise. Let's leave this to a total number of 2 and create a connectivity here. So now we can use this class attribute inside my medium noise. Let's go ahead and bind import this class and set this to integer. Type here class, and we can just plug this into our offset. Let's first create a vector from this, so float to vector, and I will leave the settings as they are and just place this in the offset. And for some reason this nh bind import was turned off. Okay, so now we can see that each copy has a different noise value, and maybe let's accentuate this value a little bit if I just multiply this class attribute. So let's drop down a multiply, or rather a multiply constant, and just multiply this by 10. And let's go up a level, and maybe here I can make some changes to this noise and maybe increase the amplitude a little bit. So they are still roughly going in the same direction, only they have a little bit of variation, and this adds a little bit more visual interest to the lighting, but also it makes it appear a little bit more thick. So this will be the animation. Let's maybe drop down the roughness a little bit and the amplitude. So for this medium noise, maybe I will delete this animation for the flow. So Control Shift click this value, and let's just get rid of this animated noise. And finally from here I want to add a little bit of high frequency noise, and let's maybe just go to our lightning strike and just grab this attribute noise over here and paste it over here and just overlay it on top of everything. And this will be the small noise, and maybe I can actually rename this to small noise and maybe increase the amplitude to 0.1. And let's maybe try a bigger element size. Okay, it's pretty good, and I think this will be fine. So from here I will drop down a null, and this will become, let's see, main LTG spread. And from this, let's Control C to copy this, and over to the right, let's maybe just duplicate this object merge and place this here. So here we have our main network for the main lightning spread, and over to the right of it, let's create the branching in a separate chain. So let's create the branching from over here.